Love of the Invisibles. How Ash Found Violet. Copyrighted 2015 by Nazeli Zelian. Hello, beautiful. Ash, Ash! She tried to reach her husband telepathically, but no answer came from the other end. She could fight him, Violet thought, but she had little to no experience in resisting a strong telepath from the invisible race, not counting the charm and magnetism Gumper possessed for her. Why did nature make it that way? There was no way to lose. She went into the kitchen to see if there was anything else she can use to protect herself. But that idea only lasted a second, since she remembered that Gumper mastered energy that was not to be conquered with sticks or even knives. She went out on deck and was terrified that Gumper was running in the marsh and was getting closer to the dock. She can feel his energy closer and closer. You will come with me. I can give you much more than he. She felt him penetrating her mind. He was getting hard to resist even when there was a distance between them. Her senses were being raised and she was feeling not afraid but curious, and automatically was walking towards the side of the ship to exit to the dock. As Violet walked on the dock, mesmerized with feelings of curiosity, excitement, and something warm in her body, Gumper approached and took her hand with calm composure, his green eyes shining like two clear emeralds. I don't want to be with you, Violet protested. But the words came softer than she expected. He gently pressed on her hand, and she felt a jolt of electricity, similar to the one she felt with Ash. You see, Gumper said softly, we're supposed to be together. He walked Violet off of the dock and into the marshes, and Violet didn't seem to mind or have a hard time walking on thick grass. They walked for a good distance without talking, and Violet felt like she was in daze and everything was foggy in her mind. Gumper had strong hold on her senses, and he felt like a drug. As much as Violet wanted to get away, some strong force was making her to continue following him. For a moment, Gumper slipped on the wet grass and let go of his hand on Violet's hand. As he tried to balance his body on the slippery surface, Violet broke free and started to run back to the dock. But that attempt was short-lived, because Gumper's large frame reappeared and blocked her way. Let me go, Violet screamed, as he grabbed her body and placed her on his shoulder. Her face facing his back and legs were dangling in front of his chest. We must be together, he announced, as his long strides passed forward. Violet tried to struggle, but she felt that her opponent had raised energy unknown to her that made her weak at her knees. What is happening? She thought. How do I succumb to him like this? Because we were meant to be together, she heard his voice over her shoulder. No, that's not true, Violet said. I'm already married to Ash, she added in distress. Married? That can't be. He put her down and faced her. You married him? He asked again, not believing his eyes. He must have used his luring energy on you. You were forced to marry him. That does not count. He raised his voice, and it felt like a large bear roaring in the wilderness, the echo pounding around from all corners of this secluded beach. He never used controlling energy as yours on me, ever, Violet answered back. You might be much stronger for me, or even stronger than Ash, but he is so much nobler and kinder than you. You were promised to me by your family. You would always be mine. She felt Gumper's stern voice in her head. His light green eyes turned piercing and predatory. If you don't want to be mine willingly, then I will take you by force, he roared. Not so fast, Violet heard a voice from behind. It was someone she had not met before. How dare you use that on me? Gumper turned toward a small circular device with lights flickering around it. You know that is forbidden by the Council of People's Law. And how are you going to prove that? I used the decences on you? The stranger said. Gumper looked at Violet, seeking a witness in her, but she slowly shook her head no. So, you want to fight the city people away? Gumper said sarcastically. Violet knew that her capturer most probably possessed more strength than the men standing in front of them. No, I also have this, he said, removing a small gun from his back pocket. What is the girl to you? Gumper asked, narrowing his emerald eyes. Why go through so much trouble? You know that I can crush you like a pig once that these senses wears off. Family, said the stranger, and for the first time Violet really examined his face. There they were, with grey eyes, very similar to Ash's, but a little darker. Come, my dear, he stretched his hand. And you, he held the gun towards Gumper, walk backwards. Violet trustingly took the hand of her rescuer. Careful now, she heard him say as she moved towards him. Gumper stepped back, but the rage in Gumper's eyes was unmistakably the eyes of the dog that plots revenge. Walk towards the dog, said the stranger, releasing her hand. Violet took steps towards her destination, but for the first time since she walked on the thick grass in the marsh, she felt pain and stinging that she was not aware before. Her open-toe sandals were covered with mud, leaves, and twig particles, and she had quite a few scratches along her legs. She tried to raise some energy to help her walk faster, but she felt a resistance forced by that small gadget that was paralyzing Gumper's forces. There must be some kind of magnetic field that was interfering with her energy too. So, how long before all of this over? Violet heard Gumper's confident voice from a short distance. Not long, she heard Ash's angry voice, and turned to see how he punched the tall giant, and it was so unexpected and with such a force that it knocked him over to the ground. Then Violet felt his hand on her shoulders. Are you all right? She threw herself into his arms and held him for a long time. Don't ever leave me, she sent him a private message. This will not hold him long, she heard the stranger's voice. You're right, Melsik, but if we neutralize him, the bears will have him at night. What do you think we should do? He said, as he gently released his beloved. Well, I won't take the dog with us. He will never stop until he gets what he wants. He is, after all, Refi's friend, Melsik said. I will ask Dr. Grant drive and drop him somewhere safe in US. If we neutralize him together, that will leave him weak for days. I'll agree to that, said Melsik. Hi there, he said with a smile after Ash let Violet off of his embrace. Violet, this is my brother Melsik, Ash introduced. Melsik, this is my wife Violet. Married, eh? He said with delight, looking at his younger brother. Before me? How dare you? He said playfully. See my dear sister Violet? He is the smartest of us all. How many brothers are you? Violet asked. 3, Ash answered. Let's do this. He turned to his brother. They moved closer to Gumper's body and kneeled over him, holding his hands with theirs, making an electrical circuit. Violet saw how both brothers' eyes started to lighten as she felt the energy rise in both of them. The defenses was off for a while. It's good that he's knocked out, otherwise this would have been hard to digest, laughed Melsik. Well, a soldier like you would say so, said Ash. He picked up his phone. Call Dr. Grant, he ordered. Let's go, he said to both of his wife and the brother. What about him? Violet asked. My friend has a summer house nearby. He will pick him up, Ash answered. Dr. Grant, he started to talk on the phone as he held Violet's arm and signed his brother to start walking. After finishing his conversation, he turned to Violet and picked her up in his arms without a word. He knew his wife's feet were hurting badly.